Good evening. Let's get ready for this next installment of our flip videos. We're really getting into the higher level math stuff. Some of you have been waiting for this, and it's time. We're going to be looking at multiplying and dividing mixed numbers. And this is going to be a little different than whole numbers, than fractions, than decimals. This is going to have several extra steps. Not so hard to do. Just follow instructions. Well, first of all, let's review some vocabulary words. What is a mixed number? A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. They're put together. Mixed numbers can be changed into improper fractions. What's an improper fraction? These are fractions in which the top number is larger than the bottom number. They can also be switched over into mixed numbers. We know that these two mixed numbers and proper fractions are related to each other. Here's a word, and I've got a star by it here we have not heard before probably, and this is called reciprocal. Reciprocal is the upside down form of a fraction. For example, the reciprocal of 5/6 is 6/5. There will be times where you will be asked to flip a fraction. Make it upside down form. That's what that would look like. Multiplying and dividing mixed numbers really isn't that hard. It's confusing, I'll agree, and it's different, but there's just a couple of extra steps that you need to follow to find the right answer. Now, here's some things to remember. If you need to back this video up at any point to review this, you sure can. Here they are. To multiply, if you're going to multiply a mixed number, you need to make the mixed number into an improper fraction first. Then you multiply it. When you get your result, you change your result back into a mixed number and simplify if necessary. Now, why do you change it back into a mixed number? Because that was its original form to start with. Now, to divide a mixed number, make the mixed number into an improper fraction. That part is the same for both, isn't it? Multiply and divide, you're first of all going to make the mixed number into an improper fraction. Now, make the second number, the one that you're dividing, change it into its reciprocal. Flip it. And then you're going to multiply. Now you're thinking, multiply, I'm supposed to be dividing. There's a reason for this. Then we change it back into a mixed number. All right? Your answer, whatever you get, and you simplify it again if necessary. If you don't need to simplify it, you won't. This is tricky, not so hard. Once you get it, you're just going to fly right through it. Now, let's look at an example of this. For example, we have 2 1/4 times 2, that should be a 2/3. All right, make your mixed number into an improper fraction. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9/4, times 2/3. Now, multiply just as you typically would. 9 times 2 is 18. 4 times 3 is 12. We get 18/12. Change your result back into a mixed number. Remember, 18 divided by 12. 18 divided by 12 is 1. With a 6 of a remainder, we make it into a fraction, and we make it into 1 6/12. 6/12 can be simplified. This is one of those times it's necessary to 1/2. So, back to our original problem, 2 1/4 times 2/3 is 1 1/2. Now here's another example. This though is using division. 9/10 divided by 1 1/2. First thing you do is make your mixed number into an improper fraction. We leave this the same, it's fine. 9/10 divided by 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 3/2. Next, we take 9/10, we multiply it, and we flip or give the reciprocal of 3/2. Now it's 2/3. We have to do the opposite because the division is when we flip this, then we also flip from division to multiplication. And then do it as normal. 9 times 2 is 18. 10 times 3 is 30. And then you simplify if necessary, which it is. 18 and 30 can both be divided by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5, and our final answer is 3/5. So 9/10 divided by 1 1/2 is 3/5. Don't forget that reciprocal step. Now, let's try a word problem. See how you do this, because this doesn't say use this operation like the other ones did. You have to determine what operation to use by the way the words are used or the words that are chosen. All right, Parker has 1 1/3 cup of artificial sweetener. Of that amount, 2/5 is made up of Splenda. How much Splenda as a fraction does Parker have? Well, let's see. We're wanting a fraction of a fraction. Basically, that's what that is. That means they probably want you to multiply. Let's multiply. So 1 1/3 times 2/5. 2/5. Now, first step that we do is make our mixed number into an improper fraction. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, times 2/5. Multiply as normal. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 5 is 15. 8/15. Can I simplify this? No, there's nothing that both 8 and 15 can be divided by. They don't have any numbers in common. So 1 1/3 times 2/5 is 8/15. How much Splenda does Parker have? 8/15 of a cup. 8/15, almost a half a cup. 8/16 would be half a cup. All right. Here's another word problem. How many 3/8 foot pieces, let me try that again. How many 3/8 foot pieces of yarn could you cut from a 5 1/3 foot long ball of yarn? Okay, it's wanting me to take this and cut it up into pieces that are this size. When I cut stuff up, that means I divide it up. When I cut it up into smaller pieces, I'm dividing it up. So I'm going to take my whole long ball of yarn, 5 1/3, and I'm going to divide it by 3/8 because that's the size piece I need of yarn for whatever it is I'm doing. First thing that I do is take my mixed number and make it into an improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. And we say thirds because it's thirds in the original fraction. Times, now I'm going to flip this because I'm doing the opposite, 8/3. Okay? Now I'm going to multiply as normal. Let's see, 16 times 8 is 128. And then 3 times 3 is 9. Now, I need to simplify that back into a mixed number because that's what I started with. So 128 divided by 9, because that's what that means. 128 divided by 9 9 times 4 is 36. Subtract 14 and 2/9. So let's see our original problem. How many 3/8 foot pieces of yarn could you cut from a 5 1/3 foot long ball of yarn? I could cut 14 and 2/9. Could I cut a 15th piece? No, not quite. We've got a little bit left over. It won't be a full 15, but we can cut 14 whole pieces and then 2/9 of another piece. Any questions? Be sure that you write it down so that we can talk about it tomorrow if there's something that's confusing you. Here is a helpful hint that you will need along the way, promise. When you divide a whole number, let's say 3, it could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 2, but like that, you will make it into a fraction. You have to make the whole number into a fraction. How do you do that? You place it over 1. So in other words, if we're saying 3 is our whole number, 3 over 1. And you may say, what? How do you make a whole number into a fraction? This means 3 divided by 1. Remember that fractions can name a division problem. Okay, what is 3 divided by 1? 3. All right? So this is a hint that will help make it easier for you to divide. And you may need this on your practice problems. So remember that if you're making a whole number into a fraction, you always place it over 1. Always. Here's your practice problems. Please, please show your work. Letter A, how much chocolate would each person get if 3 people share 1 1/4 pounds of chocolate equally? I'm sharing it. Think, what is being divided up here? Is it chocolate or people? And then don't forget, there's a 3, there's a whole number in here. You'll place it over a 1. That's just a hint for that question. Now, don't turn the video off yet. Some of you will do that. Here is the other 2 problems. Show your work. If you have any questions, please let me know tomorrow because I can help you as much as you'll let me. All right? Thanks. Good luck.